Desired Success Foundation Mastermind, all around paying it forward with the golden rule. Do unto others as you would have done unto you. So the power of the mastermind, shared by Napoleon Hill here, author of the world famous book of Success, Think and Grow Rich. It is the principle through which you may borrow and use the education, the experience, the influence, and perhaps the capital of other people in carrying out your own plans in life. It is the principle through which you can accomplish in 1 year more than you could accomplish without it in a lifetime if you depended entirely on your own efforts for success. So this is exactly why we're here. And just think about the power of that, of us coming together, sharing our experience, leveraging off each other's value to help us all achieve and move forward. So Carly, if you'd like to start us off with the principles.
Yep. The purpose of the mastermind is to share our value and connect with like-minded people in order to create wealth in all areas of our lives.
We are here to inspire and challenge each other to reach and exceed goals.
Each member is committed to their own success as well as the success of every member of the group.
We are committing to meeting in person or virtually for 1 hour every week.
We are present. There is no multitasking or distractions during meetings.
We are collaborative. We listen without interrupting, lecturing, or judging.
We celebrate each other's successes without jealousy.
We are honest and participate by giving thoughtful feedback.
We are open and listen to different perspectives without being defensive or offering excuses.
We trust fellow members enough to share fully.
We are focused, but we also think it's important to have fun during the meeting.
We are real and authentic. This is a no BS zone.
We allow ourselves to become completely aligned with each other and the high forces, one mind, one soul, one love.
Beautiful. And Trudy scored that one this week. So congratulations, Trudy. Fantastic, that last line, but well done everybody who shared there and helped set the foundation of the call. I really don't know why this internet is so slow at my end, but anyway. So the focus, as I said, was to elaborate on the desire, and I'm just going to read back through this section here. So the method by which desire for riches, and remember, riches, as Napoleon describes, isn't just money, it's riches in all areas of our lives. The method by which desire for riches can be transmuted into its financial equivalent consists of 6 definite practical steps. First, fix your mind on the exact amount of money you desire. It is not sufficient merely to say, I want plenty of money. Be definite as to the amount. There is a psychological reason for definiteness, which will be described in a subsequent chapter. Second, determine exactly what you intend to give in return for the money you desire. There is no such reality as something for nothing. Please, please get that. There is no such thing as something for nothing. Okay. Third, establish a definite date when you intend to possess the money you desire. Fourth, create a definite plan for carrying out your desire and begin at once, whether you are ready or not, to put this plan into action. Fifth, write out a clear, concise statement of the amount of money you intend to acquire. Name the time limit for its acquisition, state what you intend to give in return for the money, and describe clearly the plan through which you intend to accumulate it. Sixth, read your written statement aloud twice daily, once just before retiring at night and once as arising in the morning. Capital letters. As you read, see and feel and believe yourself already in possession of this money. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to be money. It can be anything. It can be something that's improving in your health. It can be showing up to these calls. You can have any desire that you choose. It's whatever it's going to be. But it's a case of how are you going to get to achieve that desire? So, Carly, you mentioned earlier on that you created a desire and you already achieved it 3 months before the date you said you would do that. Would you like to share some more?
Yeah, I set 3 goals And the first one was a shorter one, it's just 3 months. And then I sort of made it actually 2 months, actually. And then I knew what I needed it for. Like, it's for me, but I needed it for my big vision to, which is my end goal, to create. Like, I really need this piece to move forward. And I knew that. So, and then someone reached out to me on Friday after Thursday and asked for some help. And when I helped them, they happened to mention this thing I need and said, haven't you got that at all? And I said, no. And they said, let me help you with that. And by Saturday morning, they had set me up with the whole thing.
Wow. Awesome.
Yeah.
Good work. Good
So,
work. Thank you.
Yeah. And it's
Thanks for
actually
sharing that.
related to my big goal. Like, it's actually related to people finding me, knowing where to find me, how to find me.
Wonderful.
Oh,
So the power was in
amazing.
the clarity of what you wanted to achieve.
Yeah. And then I wasn't attached because I just know I need it. Like, it's like I just knew I know. And there's no option. Like, it's something I have to move forward. And so I'd already decided that I need that, like, without attachment. And then that happened the next day.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing. I'm curious to know from anybody who wishes to share, was there anybody who came off last week's call and either wrote their desire as in brand new from that call, or improved their desire as in and the plan? Was there anybody that did that?
Yeah.
And if so,
Yes.
just feel free to come and share if you want to.
Okay, maybe I can.
Ever?
I can share.
Yeah.
I have changed the dates of the first masterclass that I would like to be able to put online, and I would like to do that by the 15th of next month. I think I will be ready. I will still need some most important technical help, because I would like people to be able to print off maybe 3 or 4 handouts, and I have no idea at the moment how to do that. So I will be asking around here. I hope maybe my son can help me, but I was wondering whether there is anybody in our group who knows how this can be done. Because
yeah, so when, sorry.
Yeah.
I was going to say, so the logistics of the goal or the desire aren't necessarily a big thing. That the focus is this is what I believe I'm going to achieve. This is what I'm going to achieve, and everything else will take care of itself. So when you tell me that, I know exactly the way that we can have those PDFs available for people to download and receive that.
That would be great. Yes.
Okay, so we don't have to necessarily get too attached to the logistics. We just have to be clear on the end result and step into that it's already been achieved.
Yes, I hope to be able. Yes, no, I will be able to do that.
Yes.
By middle of next month. Yes.
Yeah.
What
you see the thing to be aware of as well, and this is not just forever, this is for everybody. Look at where your desire is and have a think around. Are you in control of achieving your desire? Okay, so for instance, we followed last week's call and we went on to the leadership call where we dived deeper. Okay, so we really dived very deep in this and start really uncovering and breaking it down. And one of the people who's in my NG team said to me, Martin, instead of you focusing on helping 2,400 people on your own, why don't you let us help you achieve that? And she explained the reason why, and I'm totally on board with it, like totally resonate. But I said the problem is that now my desire has been put onto you, which means that if you don't do the work needed to help find those 2,400 people, come that date of the 31st of December this year, am I able to then turn around to you and say, why didn't you do your part to help me achieve those 2,400? I'm giving away my power. That number was created by me. And therefore, I have to be clear on that I can achieve it. And because I said it's a minimum of 2,400 people who I've personally enrolled and helped receive the value in NG, that means that there's going to be more people than that, and they will come through, maybe myself, but certainly other people. So don't put my advice is that 400 people in the world. There's billions of people, and there's millions of people who value personal growth. So, my Facebook page and Instagram, I know for a fact that there's over 2,400 people there. Whether they all say yes is a different thing, but I already know that people are there. I'm connected to these people. So just look at your desire. Like for instance, if somebody says, well, I'm going to fly out of Australia and go to England this weekend, that's a big call, because borders are closed and it's out of your control. You're manifesting in the hope that it's going to change. But if it doesn't happen, do you then beat yourself up with something that was totally out of your control? Does this make sense? Like another way to look at it would be, my focus is to make sure that I have the money in my bank account so that when the borders open, I can book that flight and go. Rather than when the borders open, go, oh, I can't afford it now. That time's passed. That would be a way to look at something. Has anybody got anything else that they'd like to share around this? Somebody else who maybe amplified their desire or maybe even created one, because we've all had a week. Remember, guys, I can't see anyone's screen. Everything stopped for me. So.
Yeah, I was just sort of say that it was a little more clearer to me that was just a short time sort of thing rather than the bigger, a huge big picture, because I can't get to a huge big picture. I can't even get to tomorrow sometimes. So I really enjoyed it, and with the help of Carly, we spoke a bit, so I just break it down into short term, and even what you sort of said, make sure I add spiritual, some exercise with it, so yeah, and I know it doesn't have to be done today or tomorrow, so I'm just slowly working through it, and just yeah, it was a really good move for me.
Yeah, great. Thanks for sharing that, Trudy. It is delayed at my end and stopped. So, Carly, you're probably going to just have to facilitate for a bit around this, and anybody else who wants to share.
Alrighty.
Well, I quite like to make a comment, because I had been doing what I often do, and that's have this huge sort of scattered project or thing that I want, but no details, and no steps. So, for weeks now, probably months, I've been trying to put it into some sort of order and following some of Russ's stuff and following the various stuff, to try. And so last week for me, although I found it totally overwhelming, and no, not so much overwhelming, but the fact that you and so many of them had been so proactive, and you had so much set out in so much detail, I just felt like a total imbecile for a bit there. You know, I thought,
Oh.
holy hell, you know, I admired you greatly, but and I think it was the end of the day and we'd had a really busy day and I just thought, oh my God, I felt like doing backward flips. But anyway, sometimes we need this feeling to sort of push us on a bit. So I have started, and you know, I've got some things down on paper, and I've started with a mind map, which you'll be pleased to hear. I'm doing mine on a mind map, but so you know, I've got some stuff down, and I've also been mucking around with making up my mind when to get back to Amsterdam, and I've got to, so that's going to be September 21. And so, you know, I've made some short-term things. I want to get, you know, an income of 1,000 by the end of September. You know, 1,000 a month coming in some form or other, and preferably by, you know, bringing people in. So that's my bringing people in, and also working on myself to shift the focus from, you know, kind of desperate to giving value and feeling good about it. You know, that's a big thing for me, is to actually stop feeling and stop beating up on myself, and, you know, make this meaningfully productive. So yeah, I've got a mind map started. Yeah, so that's as far as I got. with some figures on it, by the way.
And well done, Julie. And I really think that it's important, because we're all for us all to be aware of this. We're all at different stages on our adventure, and I'm not just talking about from our age, because, you know, age is irrelevant. You know, we're so lucky when you know, if we think about it, like, I'm saying this totally respectfully, Eva's probably the eldest person on this call.
Yeah.
But whatever brings to the call is a lot of life experience, and then somebody who's younger brings a different angle. So when Eva said, "Look, I got all this stuff, but like the technology, the logistics of it, I don't know how to do it," and then somebody who's skilled in that area, whether it's going to be somebody younger, who it usually is, comes along and goes, "I can help you with that." And you go, wow. So Eva's knowledge and ability that she's acquired over those years is now being amplified because of the collaboration coming together to help for a common cause. So when, you know, and Napoleon described it as a spirit of harmony, every single person's on this call to grow. Some of us are going to be runners. We'll receive the information and we'll just start running. Some of us are going to receive it and we'll start walking, and some of us are going to receive it and we're probably just going to sit there and go, oh, that sounds like a lot. That feels like a lot. But the focus is just to break it down and go, okay, the way that we were able to, the way that I was able to, in particular, get to the desire and break it down and word it the way that I chose to, was because I wasn't focused on the money as the end result. The money's a byproduct of the value and the service I provide. What is important to me is helping every single one of you and anyone else around the world receive the value that's available to you to help you personally grow and achieve your desired success. So that's what's important to me. Now, it's irrelevant whether I earn money or not because of the way that an affiliate model may work. Yeah, I organically do this every day without being paid by anything. So, but the thing that I am always open to is, how is the flow taking place? Because there's people who come into my life and add value, and they're serving themselves and filling their cup. So it's not just about NG, it's far bigger than NG. NG is just a tool to help you connect with like-minded people who are on their own journey to grow and succeed. That's all it is. It's just a tool, and you can choose to pick up that tool and leverage it to help you, or not, and find another tool. Because there's plenty of tools out there. But if you align with what we're about, and you're inspired by somebody. So when I said this I think I said this to Jules, when Jules had connected with me, and I said, you know, people who want to be working with me or maybe see me and they're inspired by me, and I say, if I inspire you, there's something that you see in me that you want in you. There's something you want to activate. There's a fire that you want to ignite. Well, I'm going to advise you based on what I've done. I'm not going to pull things out of thin air and say you should do this when I don't even know what the result is or the experience of it is. I'm going to advise you, this is what I did. This is how it get me to this point. And if you choose to do what I did, I know that you will be further ahead than you currently are now. But you've got to implement it. It's no good just coming onto a call, and I'm saying this 100% with love and respect. It's no good coming on and spending an hour and 90 minutes with us on this call and leaving and doing nothing. Because this is your life. This is why I was able to come to the call last week with literally, I had a week and I created it over 3 days before the call. I had the same amount of time as everybody else and I created it. This past week, I went and edited it and I've been reading it in the morning and at night because success leaves clues. And when Napoleon said, this is what over 500 people have said is the key to the first step towards riches, to achieving the riches you desire in your life, you've got to do this. And what's simple to do is also simple not to do. So you have a choice. You either do it or you don't. You either move forward or you don't. But the only person who's looking back at you in the mirror is yourself. And to be around people who are taking action and creating their desire and sharing it is not to be viewed as disempowering. You're not an imbecile, for instance, Julie. You're somebody who's supposed to be in this place at this time to receive that value that's been shared from everybody and go, thank you, because I needed to hear that. And you've now ignited something into me that's going to make me make a better conscious choice that's going to give me better results than I've experienced in the past, because I am where I am because of the choices I've made. And if my life's to get better, I need to make better choices. And I can only make better choices based on a better way of thinking. And that's what I receive on this call. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. And what also makes sense to me is that I was incredibly tired when I was on the call. So, you know, that also had a huge bearing on, you know, how I could respond to it. And but it did, you know, I mean, I felt, I know I've been wanting to do the planning and I've been trying to go about it, but, you know, it's just the way I work sometimes that I just overwhelm myself with what it's supposed to be instead of just picking the things, because I know exactly what I want. And I think I need to be actioning it. That's all. I just needed to have some actions that we're going towards it. And the thing also that I've spent weeks and things, months, the last months on is improving my relationship with myself. And, you know, that needed a huge amount of help. So, and that's incredibly transformed. And, you know, I mean, that's an enormous thing because that's what's been holding me back more than anything. So with the help I've had from that department, it's just been fantastic. So now with the nitty gritty, I can be inspired by others for sure. And I can certainly do with a bit of support to get it streamlined a wee bit better.
So thank you for sharing that. And I've seen your hand, Roger. I just want to touch on this with Julie at the moment. So before, Julie, you said, and this is something that just be aware of what communication is not about speaking, it's about listening. What you pick up on from the people's language. You know, one of the people on this call is fantastic at that in particular is Veronica. You know, and I know Carly is as well, but Veronica in particular is exceptional at this. So Julie said earlier around, I want to earn $1,000 by the end of September. So Julie right now has the whole of August and the whole of September to achieve that. So the angle for Julie then is to look at, okay, where is it right now that aligns with me, which is the most important part? Where is it right now that aligns with me, that will fill my cup, helping my vibration rise to attract that $1,000 to come in? Because where Julie is at the moment is, with all due respect, the vibration of the $1,000 is here. And Julie's here working on her own self-worth. As Julie does things that aligns with her, that are aligns with her core values, Julie's vibration starts to rise. And what happens? It meets that money. So Julie's focus is to be very clear on what can she give that aligns with her values to raise her vibration to attract the money to come in. Because if she doesn't raise it right now, the $1,000 is continuously passing Julie because her vibration is not attracted to that. Or the money isn't attracted to her current vibration. Now it's not Julie's. It's not to like disempower Julie. This is 100% to make Julie aware of it, because we can't make the changes if we aren't aware of the changes that we need to make. Okay. So in this example, Julie, you look at where is it that's aligned, and you said I'd like to bring more people into NG. So what I'd say to you is that ask yourself the question, and it's always about feel. Carly's really good at this one around feel. How do you feel when you help somebody receive the value of this core of the value in NG? How does it make you feel? Okay, so you need to be clear on that, because as it's said in the design, you need to feel into it. You need to emotionally connect with it, because energy is on that vibration. It needs to have a connection point. Like when I think of this beautiful soul here, I instantly start to tear up.
I think that bringing somebody in was the most exciting, wonderful, rewarding thing that I have done.
So the focus there is, Julie, all that you need is to find 20 people. Okay, that's 20 people over the next 2 and a bit months. And you're helping them receive the value to help them on their own journey towards their desired success. That's what you're doing. Your role is to help them. And in doing so, your vibration, because you're doing what's aligned to you, that, like you said, fills your cup, it rises, and that $1,000 then is attracted to you. Now, that might seem like it's so simple and go, come on, Martin, you know, I've worked so hard all these years, and I saw my parents work hard like I did, multiple jobs, and struggle to get by. And then somebody comes along and says, to attract money is simple, raise your vibration, and you go, but the reality of it is every person who we class as successful in society says exactly the same thing. And I'm not talking somebody who lets, for instance, just, you know, is only bothered about earning income, earning the money to just launder it and say, you know, look, check me out, I'm super duper fantastic. I'm on about the super conscious people who have got abundance flying into their life. They don't focus on the money. They focus on their energy exchange and what they're giving aligned with their values to create that vibration rise.
Yeah.
Is there anybody else who wants to touch on that? That certainly knows more than me in that space.
Veronica?
Veronica?
Yes. I actually struggled after last week as well. I mean, I've got this great big hairy ass goal, as it's called, that that I'm going to reach at the 30th of June 2022. I have no idea how I'm going to get there, but I have faith that that's going to happen. However, it's not unwavering faith. And after last week's call and listening to you, Martin, it was amazing what you had written down, but I also thought I doubted myself, and I was a little bit dejected during the second call, but I sat there and crunched the numbers, and I've come up with a plan for 31st of December, and I think it's doable. I know it's doable, but I still have my moments of doubt. So Carly and I are working on the chapter of faith, and yeah, and I definitely feel that I know exactly what you mean with Martin, with you really feeling it. I mean, raising my vibration, that sounds so simple, but it's about feeling how you will be feeling once you've signed up a few people or signed one person up to Noble Goldman. It's about how you feel when they're actually talking to them, how you feel about them actually reaching out and going, yes, I want to try it. It's tapping into that feeling and being excited about it and having absolute unwavering faith that they're going to love it as much as you do.
Absolutely, great share there, Veronica. And I am aware, Roger, I'm not being rude with you really at the moment. But one of the things, remember that I said, and I'm happy to share it again if anybody wants me to do so. But I said around those 2,400 people after that call, I started receiving emails over the last week of people who were renewing their Vault membership. And every time I received an email, I was like, woohoo! And it wasn't because of the money that was coming in. It was because it was people making that commitment to their own desired success. Like, that's what fills my cup. Seeing and knowing that there's other people who I'm going to be surrounded by who are raising their vibration, and I'm receiving that energy. But it started with me making that choice.
Yeah.
Roger,
you made the choice, so that the vibration was already lifted, so it came towards you.
If we're just talking around like the money is constantly knocking on the door. The money is constantly knocking on the door. It's just a case of if we're going to open the door. But the way that we need to open the door is by getting to that point based on what we do.
Yeah, action.
How we share.
Yeah.
I don't know if Roger, you've been waiting patiently, buddy, so go on, please.
All right.
Oh, sorry. Thing about these glasses, you can fall asleep behind the glasses and no one knows. No, I wasn't falling asleep. You know, I've had a really strong desire, I thought, to succeed, and I just seem to be struggling to get a mastermind going and pretty much doing anything. Maybe I haven't created something well enough, but you know, when I did the 90-day challenge and finished, that was maybe mid-February or something, you know, but somewhere in around there, I actually, and I shared this with Mark, and maybe Carly was there, but my biggest issue was I had these horrendously powerful mind paradigms that was really holding me back. And I think, I don't know, I thought I've come along, well, Mark was Mr. Positive, isn't he? And said, come a long way. And I thought, well, I still haven't quite started reaching that desire. But mind you, having said that, I'm going to share with Carly that a few weeks ago. I've got a number of internet students I'm teaching. Sadly, it's only mathematics, but hang on, I've got one chemistry. But, you know, it's not quite the money I wanted to get, but I still can't break through. I just wonder if my desire's weak enough or my mind paranoids are just too strong. But I mean, I've got to break them down. I'm just wondering, while we're having this chat, maybe I should look at having starting the 90-day challenge again. But mind you, we're big into the 30-day challenge now, aren't we? So what do you think?
Yeah, 30-day course. Yeah.
Can I say something, Martin?
Of course, yeah, Carly, go for it.
In the case of you, Roger, what I love is you created the opportunity to have 10 intuition clients, like mathematic clients that you were going to tuition. And you said to me how you want to get clients, and the next minute when we set out a little goal with your intention in that session, you decided that's what you wanted. And within the next time I spoke to you, you had 3. And before that, you didn't even think you could do that at all. You were second guessing whether you could even give tuition to some kids and how you're going to find them. And it all happened as soon as you decided, and you started to fully own what you wanted.
Yeah, I did get there. I'm just wondering, and I'm not just wearing these glasses because Martin did it, but sometimes when I've got these students, and like I said, it's not paying well, but the screen's so wide, I can get headaches, and my mind's much more awakened now. Instead of having trouble sleeping, or I'm waking at 4 and I can't get up. So I put these glasses on. I have to warn the kids, look, I'm not trying to look cool, even though I am. And it's funny, some of them, actually the young ones actually get it, the older ones don't. Anyway, and it's just, so my eyes don't get so sore. So and And not long ago, I took a break because I had 3 students in a row on a Thursday, you know, from started at 3 and finished at 7.
Yeah. So your goal was to create your opportunity to teach those kids, and it created very quickly. And when I saw you the next time and you told me you're now up to 10, I thought that was absolutely amazing that it created so quickly. All from you.
Today I had to cancel one because I couldn't fit her in.
But do you see how you reached your goal? Do you see how?
No, because I want financial independence. You know, it's not like an MSI, but it's as I shared with Carly Martin. I don't know if I've actually shared with you, or because I recognise some of these faces. I'm just wondering if you've seen on this group, and I have shared it. I'm creating multiple sources of income, and one of the things I'm looking at is cryptocurrency. But I'm also like having meetings and looking at a new way to and generating, and I want to teach people about that. So it's not just the maths and stuff is my passion, but the cryptocurrency is something because it's something I see a market, and but also I've got this mechanism coming into play. Hopefully, maybe not next week, the week after, where I'll be able to create an income source by showing people and doing it myself of investing through metals like gold and silver and platinum, but also being able to teach people about the wisdom, whether they go ahead or not. It's a bit like Mastermind. You can invite people and people don't have to join, but the whole idea is sharing with people. And I think that's pretty good. And one of the other things I'm really is looking at getting back to the cryptocurrency is probably next week I'm going to get into setting up what we call robots to trade my currency for me, so it'll create income for me without me having to do anything. Mind you, have to pay for the fees, but it's a start. I'm just wondering if my desire is too strong and like the mechanisms haven't kept up with the desire, perhaps. I don't know. Or maybe my desires are all over the place and things. I feel I haven't quite got control, and I think we need to have control, or am I perhaps looking at it wrong way there?
If I walked over to you, and this will basically give you all an indication. If I walked over to you and say, tell me your desire right now before the end of the year, and you couldn't confidently tell it to me that I felt it, that you were going to achieve that, you're not clear on your desire. So, okay, so this is where it's getting, this is where you've got to be very good. Most people in life are scattered. Most people, unfortunately, are unconsciously existing in this life. How do you know you're happy? How do I know I'm happy?
Well, I know I'm happy if my wife's happy. I don't know if she's miserable.
Yeah, but that's tongue-in-cheek stuff, though. That's not real stuff. That's just superficial. The true essence of being happy. So this is when people say to me, I'm happy. And I go, how do you know? And they go, well, I know what sad feels like. And I go, but are you at your happiest that you could possibly go to? Because nobody knows what that is. But the only way you can experience a greater level of happiness is by making sure that the moment you go to bed, you are a better version of yourself than the moment you woke up.
Yeah.
And that only comes from being aligned with your core values and living in accordance with them. That's the only way you become better and you raise your vibration. So that way you're becoming happier every single day. You've got to experience pain to understand what happiness is. I mean, I'm sharing my own beliefs here, and I don't mean to put them on you all, but I'm just creating the awareness around this because this is where it's important. You know, I speak to people, I've gone to networking events where people have said to me, oh, my business is soaring, everything's so good. And they've said this at a networking event, and I've got them in a one-on-one and they are about to quit the passion that they've created because it isn't getting the results that they desired. But they went into that networking group and they shared a load of BS, not from a point of desire and believing in it, to make it sound like everything was going to try and sell to the other people.
Yeah.
Now, to see where you're lying to yourself. You're lying to other people. You're not coming in and saying, this is where I am. and this is where my business is going to go, and believing in it, you're just trying to sugarcoat the problem of the thing collapsing. And the only reason it's collapsing is because we're not clear on the desire of where it's going to go, and letting go of it, like Carly said before, letting go of it and just focusing on doing what fills your cup every single day. This is so critical.
And
Carly.
it takes a little bit of like that deep desire, really tapping into it, because we may know it in our mind what we want, but we really need to heart own it as well, or feel it in the body and feel into why. What is your big why? Like, yes, it's linked to your big vision, but you can even have a selfish why in there, because you want to experience a kind of feeling that no one can take away from you when you receive that opportunity to help many. There's a personal feeling in that links to your desire of your big why. And Ignite just put a love heart, and that's exactly what it does. It ignites your internal spirit, like a feeling no one can take away. So when we get clear on what we desire, then we sort of need to really feel it. And do you really want it? Like, ask yourself, do I really want this? And really own the decision.
Yeah, I think we need to also critique our things like this, because while a number of people who are closer to me know that my family is very important to me, I'm going to realise that I can't live to make them happy, and I don't like to be selfish and live for myself to be happy, but I have to perhaps look at how I put them into my desire. So I want to cater for their needs, because I know my wife's been, since she's come over from China, she's put her heart and soul into working and helping the family, because I've been unable at times to earn even a cent. And I really want to help give her a better life, but I think maybe I'm looking too much on the wrong things. But I think it's finding the right strategies too.
Oh, so with that, Roger, I just want to go back to something you said there, and this is really going to probably ring an alarm bell for some of you. Why are you not worthy of having happiness and being selfish in regards to achieving it, based on what society calls selfish?
Oh, selfish. Well, I'm not really sure. I think being selfish can hold you back, because when we look at not just Noble Gold and there's other things, you're not actually, unless you give, you're not going to receive. But I want to. I certainly want my family to be rewarded, and I want to be in a good example, I think, because I think Carly knows. I'm not just wondering if I shared. No, I think I shared in the leadership this morning anyway. Like just over 80 months ago, my son finally contacted me after over 19 years. And one of the things I'd set myself a goal is to be an example for him, because his mother and her German parents brought him up to realize I'm a proper bastard, and you all know that, right? Okay, but you're too polite to say anything. So that's I'm being facetious there. But he's just starting to break out. I mean, we haven't spoken verbally, but I mean, I want to be an example to him, but I also realize I've got to be a good example to my family here. So I want my desires to be in line with their needs, I think. Not just mine, but I find this is, there's desire, there's plans, it's all on self. So I think people have got to word it in there and carefully, because selflessness is very important. And so I think being a little self-critical, perhaps thinking I'm a little selfish, my wife tells me I'm selfish, right? But she's allowed to, I think. So yeah, just work on those things.
So do you know your core values, Roger? Yes or no?
Well, let's say it would have been yes, but I'm I'm just questioning them now and wonder if I got things a little wrong. And I've really
You
got to
can't
sit
have
down.
them wrong. Nothing's ever wrong based on you. It just is, do they need to be reviewed because other values may have stepped forward?
Yeah, I think
none
that
of your
one.
values are wrong. So when I was doing my core values with a coach last year, I said, these are my 3 core values, and his response was, those 3 core values have served you to this point, but they will not take you to where you want to go. And I went, okay. So he basically got me to sit down and write down what I would do if I didn't have to worry about money, or I didn't have to worry about there was no barriers. There was just no barriers. What would I do? And literally within 5 minutes, my top 3 core values were gratitude, connection, and experience. And he said, if you live in accordance with those 3 core values, you will be successful and achieve what you desire. And I said to him, how do I turn that though into financial then? Because it's filling my cup with what I'm going to do. And he said, don't worry about the money. The money will always be attracted to you when you're vibrating at that level. And since I've let go and just focused on living in accordance with those 3 values, and this is what's important, this is for everybody, especially if you're in a relationship. If you don't know what your core values are, and you don't know the core values of your partner or children, whatever is the people in your home, I guarantee one of you is putting your values on top of the other person. And there's a high chance that you're giving up your values in accordance to make the other people happy, which basically means that you aren't filling your cup, your vibration is out of alignment, and the person that if it's an intimate relationship, the person that they fell in love with, they aren't in love with it as much anymore because you're not the same person. Because you're sacrificing to fit in with other people. The one thing, when I found out in January 2019 that I had a 10-year-old daughter in England, then I went through the whole year sabotaging myself, asking questions. Now, what I've realized is, and I only realized this when I did my citizenship to be Australian. And when I got awarded it, I realized that my decision to leave England, even though none of this was in my awareness, my decision to leave England and to start a whole new life and leave all of my family, all of my friends, and come to a country that before I applied for full residency, I'd never been to before. What that demonstrated to my daughter, who I've still not physically met yet, apart from on a Zoom call, what I demonstrate to my daughter is there are no limitations in your life. You can do and achieve whatever you want to achieve if it aligns with where you want to go and what you want to do. So I serve myself, and the overflow of that is going to overflow to her and other people around the world because I served myself. Now, and don't get me wrong, my mum was heartbroken. My dad, my brother, my mates, family members, why are you leaving? You've got a great business here. You've got all this stuff. Doesn't serve me. I could stay comfortable in a place that didn't fulfill me, or I could become more. And in doing so, inspire other people, not with the focus of doing that, indirectly, letting it overflow because of filling my own cup. And the problem why most people end up somewhere where they don't want to be and feel disconnected is because they've been focused too much on the happiness of other people. And then they get to the destination and go, where the hell am I? It's the same thing of where they talk about a job. Your boss will allow you to row their boat to where they want you to go, but you guarantee you'll get there and think, where the hell am I? When you wanted to go in the opposite direction. So it's important to be looking at these things and saying, what is my core? If you don't know your core values, everybody, please start there, because you cannot live in accordance with what's going to raise your vibration if you don't know your core values.
Yeah, so perhaps, I think I probably have been living for their happiness, but if I review my core values to incorporate them, so I'll be happy And maybe when I'm happy, then they will be happier. Because I can't pinpoint the exact times and strategies, but I know when I've been doing certain things right, both wife and daughter are very happy. And when I haven't, well, the wife gets angry and so does the daughter. So I do laugh about it because it's the famous Chinese thing, looking after mum. But yeah, I will review it. I've been taking a few little notes, so I probably do need to go back to the core values and rework it. And I know Carly helped me. Was it 2 months ago we did that, Carly? After a Friday? Oh, geez, I've got to go back and do it again. Because I'm now earning about
you though, Roger. For you there, Roger, and I apologise for interrupting you, but I just really want to be clear because of especially the time. Whether it be an intimate relationship, a family member, a friend, a business associate, the reason why relationships break down and the reason why there's challenges is because there's a lack of understanding of expectations on both sides. Okay, you need to be clear and communicate with those people as to what their expectation is. Because if I'm not clear on what Veronica's expectation is from coming into the YDS community and leveraging the NG software, I cannot help her, because what I'll end up doing is I'll be putting my expectation onto Veronica. Does this make sense? It's the same in an intimate relationship. It's the same in a friendship. If you're not clear and you don't have the openness to communicate, relationships collapse. So finding out what makes things happy. You coming home, as this is an example, Roger, you coming home and being happy, the only thing that can happen from this is your family feel that vibration and they're happy. What happens when somebody smiles at you? You organically smile back. Like, think of the power of this. I don't want to be in a 15-foot box traveling around Australia with Beth, with her being in this state of depression because she is not living in accordance with her values to try and make me happy. I know that there's things Beth does to help me that maybe aren't her top 3 core values. They may not even in the top 10, but she knows that she helps me in them. And I know that I help in her, so that we are helping each other through them because we're in a relationship. Now, there's things that she could do better, and there's definitely things that I could do better. But at the same time, we communicate around it and we work with it. And there's times where we're out of alignment, and that's fine because it helps us become aware of what we need to do to come back in alignment. And that's why the importance is the communication. Like the other day we were driving, I said to Beth, are you happy with where we are right now? Are you happy with what we're doing? What would you like to be doing more of? What's going to fill your cup? Do you feel that you're doing things that aren't serving you? Because I know that if Beth's doing that more than she's doing things that serve her, I'm going to have an unhappy partner. And I guarantee, I'm telling you right now, there's no escape when you live life on the road. There is no escape. It's a very, very small life, like in regards to the environment. But we communicate. Beth knows mine. I know Beth's. We work together. And you know what? When I go back to that desire, I think Carly asked me, or Antje asked me Sasha asked me last week on the second call. Martin, you said the money, you have to be clear on where the money's going to go. And what I said was, that's the next level of desire. I came off that call and I instantly, with the conversation with Beth, knew exactly where the next load of money was going. Because Beth's desire is to create an animal sanctuary. So to create the animal sanctuary, you've got to reverse engineer it. Where's the animal sanctuary going to be? We've already found the land. We know the land's $600,000. We know exactly where it can build. We can see it. So when I said to you at the end of this year, we'll have paid off the money borrowed to help us live what we're living right now. The next thing I said was at the end of January, there'll be a minimum of 120,000 come in for that month, which some of you might be able to comprehend and some of you might not be able to comprehend. The focus isn't the $120,000 and woohoo. The focus is by July, we'll have enough money to buy the land. By the end of the year, we'll have enough money to maybe look at bringing people in to help with the growth of that animal sanctuary coming together. By the end of 2022, we'll be looking at, hey, we can afford to pay people and help them. And remember what the focus is. We're not looking for people who just want a job, because people will be unhappy. We're looking for people who love to help animals and be aligned and working in that space, because they're filling their cup. We have a higher vibration, which helps the animals. We're surrounded by that. Do you see the power of where you can start taking this? But it started right at the beginning with a small step. And if you don't start with the small steps, you can't think bigger. Because the bigger one does not, you can't connect to it because it's too far. Especially with, one of the things that Bob Proctor says straight away is, what is the most amount of money you've earned in a year? And it's not that he's interested in the amount of money you've earned. What he's interested in is, where is your paradigm around money? Because if you want to win $1 million and you've never gone over $90,000, that's a big jump. Your paradigm is not even at that $1 million mark yet. So the focus is, how do we get you to 150? And you start feeling and you start seeing it. But more importantly, how do we get you to the 90,000, doing something that you're aligned with, instead of going and working in the mines, missing out on your family and going against your core values for the money? Do you see the power of this? I mean, there's so much we can dive into here, but obviously the time is something that I want to acknowledge. But there is so much that we can dive into, and there's so much more that we're going to dive into on the following call from this. But it starts with, and I encourage you all right now, we're going to move on to the next chapter we're on to in Think and Grow Rich, whether you're on Think and Grow Rich for Women or this book is, the next chapter we're going to dive into next week is persistence. And what I'm going to just share with you now is, persistence is an essential factor in the procedure of transmuting desire into its monetary equivalent. The basis of persistence is the power of will. So this is what we're going to cover next week. Every single one of you now have a week to create your desire, to get clear on it. And if you're comfortable with that and you've started reading it and it feels aligned and you're stepping into that, have a look at your core values and just feel what your core values are. Now, remember, going to persistence, and persistence, if you're going to read it, highlights some seriously big areas around why most people fail in their life. And when I say fail, they get to the deathbed and they look back and go, I wish I had another opportunity to do that again. Because remember, failure is only quitting. That's all failure is. So if you're continuing to show up, you're continuing to grow. The reason why Thomas Edison invented the light bulb was he never saw a failure he never saw not achieving the light bulb as a failure. He saw it as, this isn't the way to do it, there's another way. And he kept doing it and doing it and doing it until he got it. So you now have a week, and only you can make that conscious choice to do this. Now, don't judge it on anybody else's, and don't say it's not as good as so-and-so's or whatever it is. It's what it feels right for you. Okay, it's what feels right for you. No one can make that judgment of it sounds rubbish or it's not big enough or whatever. If it aligns with you, that's what's important. So you've got a week. And I have faith that every single one of you is going to leave this call and either go back and look at it and reflect on it, or get down and dirty and start creating it. If you need to read desire, please do. Okay. But I'd just like to thank you all, and I do hope that you experienced and felt the passion and the love rather than anything else as if you were being dictated to, because what I was sharing today was from a place of the heart. Because I truly do care about you and everybody else who achieving a better life and achieving their desired success. I truly do. But it's down to you. It doesn't matter how much I desire for it for you. It's down to you to make that choice. So remember, you've got all the support you need in the Your Desired Success Facebook group. If you need to ask a question to help you around this, please ask it in there and we will help you as best we can. Okay? So thank you, Carly, for sorting this call out at your end. I really do appreciate it. And for those of us who are Gold Stars and NG and Vault members, we're on in 20 minutes to dive deeper.
Thank you.
Okay.
Sorry, what's on?
Thanks, everybody.
What's on in 20 minutes, Martin?
There's a leadership call for the YDS team. I've got to cover some of the YDS stuff that we're going
Oh,
through.
okay, that's not me then. Okay, good. Okay.
As always, Martin,
everybody.
great
Thanks,
stuff.
Roger.
See everyone.
Cheers, Ryan. Thank you,
Great
everybody.
call.
Thanks, Trudy. Cheers, Jules.
Good, great meeting.
You. Bye.